So I'm going to do this one really casual. I'm just checking in as always. And I'm not sure how obtrusive having this iPod on is going to be. But I like to have music in my background. But I mean, I don't know if it'll communicate well. Got my hair down today. And this is how I know I'm getting older. Check it out. Look at this. This is the back hair. Now, anybody who grew up in Iowa can tell you, you're going to lose that back row of corn every time you mow, right? So when I first got this haircut, my hair was this color, right? Because that's from the original hair. And it was further back. But then as I shaved it back there, it got shorter. And so in the last year or so, I've tried to grow out this back patch. And I don't know if you can see it on there, but my Lord, that is gunmetal blonde right there. Okay, with a lot of weight in it. And then that's what my hair used to be like. And I'm going to maybe pop a wig on here for you. This is my favorite wig, and I bought it. It was one of the first... Sorry, I'm trying to get something going on here. It was one of the first, I would say... How many did I get in that? I got that one wig. So I got like 2 or 3 wigs in that. And the one particular wig that I like so much, it's so close to what my hair used to look like when I still had hair. So I guess I could talk about that a little bit. I hadn't planned to do that right now. But, Jermaine, why did you cut your hair off? Well, I had very long hair, and I wore it long for, like, almost 30 years, right? I remember when I first... Because, okay, so when I was, like, whatever, 3rd or 4th grade, my hair was cut real short into a little pixie cut. And I didn't like that because at that time, you know, long hair was what was considered, you know, pretty. And so I grew it out. And then one time, I was living with my mom in Rennes, and I was going up to the bakery, and like I was just walking along in this parking lot, and my arm came out, and I could see in my shadow, well, my hair was long enough to come out from underneath. You know, like I could see it in my shadow. And I was like, oh my Lord, I got long hair. You know, and I was so happy. And so I wore it that way, like forever and ever. And I did like the 2 braids, and at times when I was feeling skinnier and wearing bikinis, I would do the ponies up on top. And I did like my long hair. I liked it a lot. Okay. Jermaine, why did you cut your hair? So then, like I'm a believer. I believe in God, and then I just don't want anyone to get spooked off when I say the next thing I'm going to say, which is, like, I do hear God, and I do feel Him, and yes, He answers my prayers. No, you know, God is not Santa Claus, which is why puppies still die. God does not always answer my prayers in the way in which I wish He would. But then I don't always answer my children in the way that they wish I would. And my job is not to be their friend. My job is to... Anyway, that analogy is used in the Bible for a reason, but I won't get off on that. I mean, the analogy of God as our parent. Anyway, so back to the story. So, I was married, and my husband did really like my hair. Like, you know, he's one of these crowning glory guys who, a lady's hair is her crowning glory. And I just kept getting this little tap on the shoulder of my soul, saying, cut your hair off. And I was like, I don't want to do that, I don't want to cut my hair. And so it was about elbow length, right? And I had gone over to a friend of mine's house, and he was telling me a story of something, and I just said, do you have scissors? And he was like, yeah. And so I had it in a ponytail, right? So I cut off the ponytail of it. But it wasn't, I really did have to cut it all off, right? And I had bought clippers from, like, you know, whatever, you know, like Buzzy clippers to do my son's hair. And, yeah, I just tap on my shoulder. And I'm not saying, like, God said in so many words, girl, you gotta cut your hair. But it was just this thing that I couldn't um, I don't know how to explain it, but like in my prayer life, I know, or there's a certain level of authenticity to the things that I experience as God communicating with me. And so this was very powerful to cut this hair off and cut this hair off. And then I was going to volunteer at my son's school, and I was like, oh, I don't want to shave my head and then have to go teach at school. Everyone's going to laugh at me. And that was actually the sort of thing that tripped me into, yeah, you got to do it. And so I just did it, and I cut it, and I've told you that. I'm going to go good. Yeah, this one didn't come out good last time. But anyway, so yeah, man, I cut all the hair off. And one of the things I was really worried about, I mean, you guys know, I got a lot of face, okay? And I've, like, I'm sure there's so many others, so many of us have had this experience of forever struggling with the way we look or the way we present or the way we think other people perceive us. And I have very much struggled with that throughout my whole life. And I kind of used the hair to hide, you know what I mean? Like it kind of hid my face a bit because, I mean, girl, I got thick hair. Oh, look at me go. So I had a lot of it, and I was very worried that, like my face would come out and be so tuberous and protruding. And so I did it. I just cut it all off, and then I shaved it, like on the sides there. And, like, honest to goodness, okay, for the very first time in my life, I was 40 or some, I don't know. I just spontaneously thought to myself, like I never thought it and felt it at the same time, but after I shaved my hair off and I looked in the mirror, I thought, wow, you're a pretty girl. And that was really important to me, and I do feel that God brought me there to do that so I could see that. And then, not only that, but then a couple months later, back when you could go to church and get your communion, and this was, again, like I said, many years ago, I went to church to, I had communion, and I can see this guy's face. I think it's Father Jan. But anyway, he said, I like your haircut. And then he gave me my wafer. And I was like right on. Like I really felt like that confirmed it. And honest, when I shave it off and it's all crisp looking, I know I just feel really good about myself. So I assume what I see, like what I criticize or what I view here, and I don't know why I took my glasses off, but because I worked out the diffused lighting, I think. But anyway, so like when I look here and the things I see in my own face that I'm well familiar with, Botox might not be bad. But it's my bigotry. It's my lifelong bigotry. And when I view other people, like I ride the bus, right? And you look at the other people on the bus who aren't, they're just like me, right? Same kind of ruddy skin and whatever, and they got bags with them or whatever. I don't think that person is ugly. I don't think, the critical things I would say to myself through the lens of my bigotry about the way I look, I would never say that to another person. I would never even think about another person. And so, the shaving of my hair and doing that, like I have to have that same standard for myself of regarding myself in the way in which I would regard other people and the way I would speak about other people. And it's very difficult to do because, as I said, I have the lens of, my lifelong bigotry of like my aesthetic of what I think is beautiful, my aesthetic of how I feel I look, and doesn't matter. We're worthy of the standard we would apply to others. And if you're applying shitty standards to other people, you better fucking quit it. I'm sorry about the swears. I'm trying not to swear because Canadians actually don't swear. Oh, hot dog. Sorry. Anyway, Canadians don't swear. And also, I wanted to show my tattoos today, or some of them. This one says agape, although like on this it's backwards, right? And that is, there's eros and agape. Agape is sort of the unconditional way in which God loves us all. And so I have that right there. And then I also got a bunch over here. This is going to be backwards too, so. And also, how the hell am I supposed to hold my hands here? I don't know I can do that. My Lord. Okay, so that one says Luke. And it says 1:45. And that is when the angel comes to talk to Mary about being pregnant. And the angel says, blessed is she who believed what the Lord said shall be accomplished. And what I really love about that is that it's not the believing, the receiving is in the believing. You know what I mean? The blessing is in the believing, not in the getting of a thing. It's just, yeah, man, I'm doing it. That's what Mary said. And we can, romanticize that however we like. She was a child, they were engaged, or oh, can you imagine being, no, girl, it doesn't even matter. Like, and anybody who's been pregnant maybe had this experience, not on the level that I'm sure Mary did, but, pony up, and that gal did. So, God bless her heart. Anyway, let's take a look at this wig so we can kind of change the mood here a little bit. So, this is my favorite wig. And you can see the colors are very close. Or at least I think so anyway. And I don't, let me see, I gotta find a wig stay. And I can show you how that works too. But like I said before, the inside of these, it's sort of like a baseball cap. See that? Or also, okay, if you made a baseball cap like a baseball cap out of a bustier, that would be the inside of this wig here. Hold on, I'm going to look for this wig stay now. Here we go. Okay, so like I do have the camera focus on the only clean part of my whole house. Just so you know. But okay, so what I do, like especially when I'm wearing this one because my hair is close color, this is called a wig stay. Okay. And basically it's just like I don't know how I would explain this, sort of like a waistband for your wig on your head. And it does make a big difference in terms of keeping the wig on your head. The other thing is, P.S., if you're a gal wearing a wig, you shouldn't be running anywhere because the wig can pop off of your head. Well, actually, I don't know about that with the wig stay. I did that with I had be like those old-timey knit caps that, well, like in the 1940s, that's not quite right, but it's basically like a hairnet, and you put that under there, and then if you put the wig on top, right, and I had one of those one day, and man, I just shook that loose, like that wig came off because I was running for a bus, don't be running for buses, lady, and it is harder to be a lady than it is to just be a woman. There's a lot more work involved, which is why, well, I'm a big mouth broad, so I'm not even in either category. So here's my beautiful wig. I love it so much. I call this the natural. So, and then inside the wig, like I said, it's like a baseball cap. But then there's also, and ladies will recognize, I don't wear one myself, but it's like it's like a hook for a brassiere in there. And this is the way they do it on the internet, so bear with me. I don't know how this is going to work here. Let's see if you can see me doing this. Okay, so you got the wig stay on there. And I'll bring this around to the bottom of the wig stay. Okay, and then pull that back of the hair. And you actually want to bring the front pretty far down so that you can adjust it. Now, from what I am given to understand, oh, Carol, you're so sexy. There's a couple good places to touch a wig. One of them is these ear spots. Okay, you can orient the wig by touching the ear spots. And the reason you don't want to, I mean, you can do whatever you want. It's your fucking wig. But, okay, so, and then there's this other place in the back where you can register it as well. And I guess you'll just have to have it on to figure it out. Good thing I'm not showing you how to use a bra, because I don't actually know. No, I did wear a bra, like, when I was nursing my son. Or, no, my daughter. I didn't nurse my first kid because, well, a lot of ladies don't end up getting their first one nursed because it's... Dude, I can't tell you. Like, my... Okay, so I had my son, right? And my husband and I, because we're such fucking smarty pants, we didn't go to any of those prenatal classes, right? And I was like, yeah, I had plenty of students who were pregnant. So we didn't go to any of the prenatal classes. And I assume in those classes they explain to you that your breasts are going to turn fucking rock hard when you have a baby. And I didn't know that. And so I told the doctor, come here, my breasts are really hard. She goes, yeah, that's normal. I said, no, you need to feel this. But it was all right. So that's my wig, and that is what my hair used to look like all of the time. Now, the rules for a wig are the same as rules for hair in Florida, which is don't be touching it all the time. Don't be touching it. Although I'm doing it right now, and this thing sheds like a dead horse. But the reason you don't touch your hair all the time in Florida, you don't touch your hair. Let it be. Is because you sweat, dry, sweat. But if you touch your hair and you pull all that sweat down, your hair is going to look terrible. If you just let it set there and don't touch it, it'll dry off and do what it's supposed to, which is like work like air conditioning. This, you don't want to touch it too much because you might lose, a little bit of confidence and also its placement. Now, I'm like, check that out. See, this is where the wig is. That is where my actual hair is. And this is where the wig is. So that's why I feel really blessed about this wig. Because I can just pop it on. Although it's a lot of hair. Like, I have been trying to get a small little bob that I can just pop on and wear out. Like just boom. But they always come with this weird, like, when did this happen where women have their hair dark to here and then little blondie tips? I don't like that. And so all the blonde wigs I've tried to get, or the short bobs I've tried to get, end up looking like that. So, I'm not in love with them. But this one I do really like. I feel like it's as close as possible to my original hair. So, and I think I finished the story about the good Lord telling me to... Oh, and that was the other thing. Like, after I shaved most of my hair off, and I just had this little piece. Now, it was actually longer than that, but, ladies, or even gents with long hair, that front piece gets shredded up pretty good. I actually liked my hair better. Like, I thought, ooh, that's a nice color, and that's sort of pretty. Of course, now it's, like I said, gunmetal gray in the back. Or gunmetal blonde. That's what I like. Let's see. There's the part, and they've got these little, like, rubbery bottoms there that, supposed to look like a skull. Or like not a skull, sorry, a scalp. Oh, and I did have recommendations today that I wanted to make. Because clearly I'm all over the map today. I've been listening to, hold on. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to do, is I wanted to say I made public my playlists on my channel here. And there's nothing on there right now. I'm going to put this one movie on here that I'm going to recommend to you that I know is on YouTube. There's some stuff on there, but it's not anything I've made with the intention of making it public, right? Like, I don't know, that's a lot of explanation for not very much information. Anyway, so I made my playlist public today, and I would eventually like to maybe have stuff over there that y'all can look at and tell me what you think about, or that might be relevant to something I might be saying here. I think there's like The Doors is on there. Shirley Bassey. Oh, and I really have been enjoying on the YouTube the I just love these art or like creative people who take it to another level, and they show you like whatever 30 or 60 seconds of somebody creating art. I mean, and I don't know why it's so pleasing to me, but it really does give me ideas, and I find it, I don't know. And then there's another one that's got a drawing course on it that I think is very, very good, because I am not very, very good at drawing. So it's got some nice Like they draw through skeletal to muscular to, so they take a real anatomy approach in a couple of these videos. I like. Okay, so my recommendations. Okay, so this is a podcast, or there's two: Crime and Sports and Small Town Murder. I'm gonna try to do this without looking at that. Anyway, these two podcasts are made by Jimmy Wisman and James Pitt. These two podcasts are made by Jimmy Wisman and James Petrogallo. And I've been listening to them for a number of years. And they started with this one, which is hilarious. It's a wonderful, you don't have to love sports. You just have to love foolishness. Okay? And Small Town Murder, it's just the two guys. And I love these two guys. They're so funny. I loved this podcast so much that once I had some serious ladies surgery. And I took the Crime and Sports on the podcast with me so I could listen to that when I woke up from the gas, right? So that was kind of cool. And Small Town Murder, and they're just a couple of guys that, in my opinion, like one of the things I find so nice about them is, you know, they're honest about their histories. I don't know, the stuff that quote-unquote normal people would be uncomfortable with, they love to make jokes about. So, it's a wonderful show, both of them, Crime and Sports and Small Town Murder. It's a podcast, you know, I don't know, iTunes or whatever. You can find it on there. And if not, then you can. Oh, hold on. Here it is. Sorry, ladies. Yeah, that's how I used to have hair just like that, except not so, I don't know, this girl, whoever had this hair before, was taking better care of it than I did mine. So, okay, here we go. So that's where we're at here, folks. oysterlux@gmail.com. Now, my good friend from high school, and I'm going to call you NKO, unless you want me to use your name, which you have a very specific name, so I'll just say NKO. So NKO sent me some stuff about, remember I asked about Gangloo, but I haven't opened the email yet because I don't want to color up my, you know, like I want to see your impression. Well, whatever. You know what I'm saying. I haven't opened it yet, but I did see that it was there, and so I really appreciate it. If you have a story that you want me to tell about you, man, email me. We could just email me, and I would love to tell it. Okay? Or if you got a story about whatever, right? Oysterlux, OYSTERLUXE @gmail.com. Okay, so this is the movie I'm going to put onto. I don't know if that's... See, this one, I wrote it on the back like I did before. And I wrote it again. But this one, I did it backwards with no guide. And so you see I got the little lemonade stand S there. So you can feel all... whatever. Anyway, this is the one I'm going to put on one of the playlists. I'm not sure if it's going to be like... Maybe I'll put it as an animation or... No. I'll probably put it as, like, movies, right? This movie is called Sita Sings the Blues. And it is just a really wonderful melange of cultural stuff and music and different styles of animation. The interludes of this movie, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when you go see the movie, or when you, whatever, YouTube it. The interludes of this movie are not my favorite. I think the whole movie could have survived without the interludes. And the interludes are sort of like the author. I don't know why they're there. I could have lived without them. But nonetheless, the animation on this is really, really unbelievable and very enjoyable. And I've watched it more than one time. That's another question. Anybody see Joker? I'd love to see what you thought about it, because I know some people object to... Oh, don't drop the computer. I know some people object to the... Or I've seen on the internet, because it's not like I know any people. But... I actually thought that it visually communicated some of my very deepest experiences as a person with mental illness. And so I did like the movie. I saw it many times. Cried in the movie. And that was all before, whatever. All before, what is that? Divok Pie. All before Divok Pie. So... I think that's all I got for right now. Playlists are published. There's my email. I guess I could hold that up again. Still got to clean the house. And I also have to do laundry. And I just want to say that hate doing laundry, but I do have a washing machine en suite, so that sure makes a big difference. Anyway, oysterlux@gmail.com. Also, like Miss NKO or Lady JJ, Lady Julie. I don't know if you would want me to talk about you on here, even though you're important to my experience, or La Cana. Et toutes les femmes et tous les hommes qui s'appellent Tim and Karel. So just, if you want me to shut up, just let me know. Or please don't! Actually, just tune out. And then tell your friends to check me out. So, right on. So, thank you so much. I'm really glad. This was a long one, so I had a lot on my mind. Anyway, I love you so much. Please have a good day. Please have a good day. Take your bias, take the lens of bias about yourself away. And try to love yourself. I don't know how to explain it. Like when my kids were born, it was like, and so try to love yourself like that. That's how God loves you. I love you. Have a great day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.